In this segment, Stephanie Miller is joined by Dana Goldberg. Together, the two talk the latest from the Trump trial. Here's Stephanie.
By the way, just on other legal, because it's just there's so much every day. Seth tweets, Donald Trump again successfully inspires terrorism against one of the public servants overseeing a case of his, and has been his intention all along because he is the most notorious stochastic terrorist in American history. Dean tweeted about that. We didn't have time to get to all of this, but the white powder sent to Judge Engoron. Yeah. I mean, here we go again, right?
Yeah, I believe that one was actually sent to the judge, as opposed to what showed up at Donnie's house.
That was different.
Yeah,
that was his regular shipment.
Want a new show that parties?
The guys in the room here are like, oh, hey, oh, hey. Like, hey, wait a minute.
Watch Cocaine News with your host, Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
I feel like that was I don't even think someone else sent it. But let's move on. Like I said,
let's just move on.
Conspiracy theories, who knows?
Conspiracy theory, or did Don Jr. say it himself? I think.
No, he said it. I've heard him say it.
I'm not saying we have it on tape.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
Let's see which way the wind is blowing.
Hot takes.
If Lizzo's oppressed, then so am I, right?
Hard drugs.
We're like, wow, it's crazy. You don't have ideas?
Dana.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
Thank you.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
All right. Okay. I don't know what. Here's the thing. We were saying there's so much anger to go around, and I know, Dean obviously from day one has been, on the Merrick Garland is a disaster train, and I know that again I'm, as you know, a Libra, so I can never decide. When I talk to Allison Gill, I'm like, oh no, I understand this and that. I talk to Dean or Ellie Mistal, but I think two of the people I trust most in terms of legal stuff, Adam Schiff and Glenn Kirshner, have been for quite some time now been expressing impatience with Merrick Garland, and I do think that part of the work Chairman Schiff did on the January 6th committee is part of why Garland moved. But this is exactly what we were afraid of, isn't it? That
Absolutely.
Now we are, with a partisan Supreme Court, here we are before the election.
Absolutely. And thank God for Jack Smith. At least he's doing his job, and it appears doing it quite well. He can't accomplish everything because some things are out of his control. However, Merrick Garland, we had a horrible Department of Justice before him. He got put in a position where I think he thought he had to walk some line because he was under complete and total scrutiny. And I don't necessarily believe that's the best thing. I would have rather we had someone that come out like a bulldog and made sure that everything that was messed up before he got in there was put on the right track.
I think you're right. We overcorrected for Bill Barr.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Just this BS prosecution of Hunter Biden. It's based on, a Russian disinformation agent that, this Robert Hur report that he allowed to be released that now Republicans are going to try to use as a campaign ad against Joe Biden. I mean, right, Jody? Look, everything is political now, and they don't play by any set of rules at all.
Absolutely not. So I'd love to bring a lot of roses and sunshine this morning, but things kind of suck right now. They do.
Speaking of court rulings, you said if an embryo is frozen for 16 years, gets implanted, and the person gives birth, is the infant coming out 17 years old? No. Yep. No, they are not, because embryos aren't children. Thank you, Dana Goldberg, and you're not even a breeder.
I mean, I tell you, I got some hate the other day because I commented on something, and I was basically like, some friends of mine, they froze embryos 18 years ago in Alabama. We're very excited because we're going to take the embryos to vote for the first time in November. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? And I think the first comment was, this woman's an evil bitch. So that's what happens. Yeah.
You are the sweetest, huggiest lady in the world.
Thank you. There was a lot of blocking 3 days ago on Twitter and Facebook, a lot of blocking.
You said embryos are not life. They are the potential to become life. Most of them aren't even viable, a lot like the Republican Party. See, that's funny. There's a joke wrapped in a...
That's right. And listen, all these people, I think a lot of people are worried about, the effects that this has, these sort of posts has on people that are trying to do IVF and that got stalled. We are supporting you. So please know that we don't think IVF is absurd. We just don't believe that little petri dish of cells should be called babies. Period. I hope that anyone trying to do IVF, it's hugely successful. Several of my lesbian friends obviously have had to use IVF to have children. It's been hugely successful. You cannot make laws banning that based on your idea that there's a group of cells that is a human being.
Like someone said, your religion tells you what to do, not me. I mean, and this
Absolutely.
all falls under privacy. You know, it's a big government. Like you commented on Tennessee governor signs a bill allowing public officials to refuse to perform same-sex marriages. You said, I wouldn't want a bigot officiating my wedding anyway, but also WTF is going on. We have to get these a-holes out of office. I mean, it's always been about controlling people, particularly women, right? What's the state that just said women can't get a divorce if they're pregnant? I mean, what?
I can't even remember which state it was, but I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, the whole thing's insane. So then you're going to have all these men raping women to keep them in marriages. I mean, and by law, they're not even considering that rape in some of these states because they're married. Like, the whole thing is absurd.
Yeah. You said, I love that Beyonce was like, you're not going to give me album of the year? Fine. I'm going to take back an entire music genre. It is...
Oh
so
my God.
easy
And the
to
people
trigger the
that-
maggots.
Oh, and the people that don't know that country music started by black people, the banjo was created and it was only played by slaves back how many years ago? Country music started in the black community. All of these people that don't know their history, like, it makes my brain explode.
You know, I was saying before, you know, Republican policies, it's not like it's not just the national Republicans that are awful. We have all these laboratories in the states where their policies have failed miserably. I just have to hope there is some larger percentage of people, Dana, that care about actual issues that affect their actual lives, and not whether Beyonce is singing a country song or, I don't know, the M&Ms wearing comfortable shoes or whatever it is. I mean, I just thought this was interesting. These are America's top 10 worst states to live and work in 2023. And this will not surprise you. Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, South Carolina, Alabama, Missouri, Indiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida. What do they all have? Of course, they're all red states because of their policy. And now we were talking to Doc. Florida has a measles outbreak now because of, anyway.
Because what about vaccinations?
Yeah, because what now about science?
I can't.
You were nice enough to retweet Tulsi Gabbard, who said it's finally done and sent off to the printers. My debut book, For the Love of Country, Leave the Democrat Party Behind, is coming out soon. And you said, assuming this is only printed in English and Russian? Yep. I would assume just Russian, but I don't...
I would assume so with a translator. Oh, we knew this was coming. She's a horrible human being. We called this out years ago.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Yes, I know. Exactly. Yep. Hillary Clinton, oh my God, was right about everything. I can't.
And then,
oh my God, with the Supreme Court today, how many times she warned about the Supreme Court? I was just like, and then so my 2000 anger is on top of now or underneath my 2016 anger lasagna that is now.
Yeah. I'm just grateful you exercised to get some of the stress out, because if you didn't, oh God, everyone be careful.
Right?
You should have seen her yelling at Chris this morning.
She's in my line of sight.
I'm used to
Chris
it.
is in everyone's line of sight.
I know.
Have you seen how big that guy is?
Totally used to it.
This is why I need a little ball of
Especially
love.
when he flexes. He's actually an eclipse, a lunar eclipse.
Yes, he is. I needed my little ball of love, Dana Goldberg, who tweeted, sending love to all the trans and non-binary folks in my life. And yours, you are loved, you are beautiful, you belong here. See,
We do. I love
we need
you if
all
you're
the
listening.
positivity. That's why that's what I feel like all of our guests have in common. Not just you're so smart and funny, but just positivity. We need that more than ever. We've been talking to every guest about that this morning, Dana. We cannot cave in to despair, which is what they're hoping. Despair and
absolutely.
hopelessness, and that, oh, Donald Trump gets away with everything. Oh, it's inevitable. It is not inevitable unless we make it so. You've got to let this anger motivate you in a positive way and not make you feel, demoralized.
100%. Unfortunately, the minority is very loud. There are still more of us than there are of them. And I'm not talking about just a little bit more. There are massive numbers more that believe in equity and believe in equal rights, believe that black men should be able to walk the streets without being fear of shot by the police, that trans kids should be able to be in a bathroom they identify without getting bullied, that gay people should be able to get married. There are more of us than there are of them. We just have to get out and vote in numbers too big to manipulate again, because he's going to claim a coup. He is going to say the election was stolen.